It was a Thursday evening in our Raleigh suburb, the kind where cicadas hum and porch lights glow against the dusk. I'd just gotten home from my consulting firm. Small tech startups, steady work, nothing flashy. The house smelled of Emily's lavender candle, her usual attempt to set a vibe. I was beat, my tie loosened, ready to crash. We'd been off lately, little snipes here and there, but nothing major. Or so I thought. A week earlier, we'd gone to the supermarket, a routine Saturday chore. I was pushing the cart down the cereal aisle at Harris Teeter, tossing in my usual Cheerios. Emily trailed behind, her phone glued to her hand, texting furiously. I grabbed a box of her granola, holding it up. "This the one you like, right?" She glanced up, her face twisting like I'd offered her a dead fish. "God, Matt, can you not block the aisle?" she said, loud enough for an older couple nearby to turn. Her voice was sharp, dripping with irritation. "You're always in the way." I raised an eyebrow, keeping my tone light but pointed. "In the way? I'm pushing the cart you're not even touching, Em." She rolled her eyes, not lowering her voice. "Just move it along, okay? I don't have all day." The older couple exchanged a look. I smirked, tossing the granola in the cart. "Sure thing, boss. Wouldn't want to slow down your texting marathon." She huffed, storming toward the produce section. I followed, my jaw tight. Public scolding over a cart? Classy. I didn't say anything else, but I noted it. Strike one. A few nights later, we were at the dining table, a rare joint dinner. I'd grilled some chicken, nothing fancy, just trying to keep things normal. Emily sat across from me, poking at her plate, her phone buzzing beside her. I tried to start a conversation, keep it light. "How's that campaign going? The one for the fitness app?" She didn't look up, just shrugged. "Fine," she said, her voice flat, like I was a co-worker she didn't like. Her phone lit up, and she grabbed it, a smile breaking across her face as she read a text. She typed back, laughing softly, her thumbs flying. I leaned back, watching her. "Something funny?" I asked, my tone casual but edged. She glanced up, her smile vanishing. "Just Claire," she said, setting the phone down but keeping her hand on it. "Work stuff." "Work stuff?" I repeated, nodding slowly. Must be a real riot over at marketing. Her eyes narrowed, but before she could respond, her phone buzzed again. She snatched it up, her face lighting up as she typed, completely ignoring me. I took a bite of chicken, chewing slowly. "Laughing with Claire, but I get one-word answers." Got it. Later that night, I was drifting off in bed, the room dark except for the glow of her phone. Emily was propped against the headboard, scrolling, her lips curved in a faint smile. I shifted, trying to get comfortable, and caught a glimpse of her screen. A chat, not work-related, some guy's name I didn't recognize. She angled the phone away, quick, like she'd been caught. I didn't say anything, just closed my eyes. Hiding screens now? Strike two. Then came Thursday. I flicked off the bedroom light, the room sinking into darkness. Emily was already in bed, her back to me, rigid as a plank. I slid under the covers, careful not to touch her, and let out a normal breath. Her voice cut through the quiet, cold and sharp. "Matt, could you not breathe down my neck when I'm trying to sleep?" she said, not turning, her tone like she was scolding a kid. I froze, my jaw tightening. My breathing's the issue now? I kept my voice even, but I couldn't resist a jab. "Got it, Em. Next time, I'll sleep in the F-150. Save you from my lungs." She didn't laugh, didn't move. "Don't be so dramatic," she said, her voice heavy with that patronizing exhaustion she'd perfected. "I just want to rest. Without your sighs, your presence. Is that too much to ask?" I let out a short chuckle, more air than humor. "Yeah, real reasonable. Especially since you used to crash on my shoulder every night for 3 years. What? That warranty expire?" Silence. Heavy, deliberate silence. She didn't answer, and I didn't push. I rolled onto my side, facing the wall, my mind racing. Picking fights over my breathing? What's next? I blinked too loud. Everything that used to be us. Her head on my chest, late-night talks about dumb movies, her stealing my hoodie, had turned into a list of grievances. My breathing, my existence, my being. Morning came, and it was like we'd rehearsed a play. No good morning, no coffee poured for two. Emily was in the kitchen, banging a plate on the granite counter, popping bread in the toaster, moving like I was a ghost. I leaned against the fridge, sipping my black coffee, watching her performance. Finally, I broke the ice, my tone calm but pointed. You even know who you're sharing a house with anymore? I asked, raising an eyebrow. She didn't look up from her avocado toast, spreading it with surgical precision. Oh, I know exactly who, she said, her voice flat but venomous. Too well? I smirked, unfazed. Good to know. I'll make sure to stay out of your spotlight then. She froze, her knife hovering, then resumed spreading, harder now. Maybe if you weren't so suffocating, I wouldn't need space, she said, her tone sharp, daring me to bite. I set my mug down, leaning forward. Suffocating, I said, my voice low but edged. Funny, I thought paying the mortgage, fixing the car, and keeping the lights on was called contributing. My bad. Her eyes flicked up, narrowing. Don't start with that. You know what I mean. Do I? I said, crossing my arms. Spell it out, Em. What's my crime? Existing too loud. She slammed the knife down, her voice rising. You're always there, Matt. Always hovering, always taking up space. I just want some peace. I nodded, slow and deliberate. Peace. Got it. I'll make sure my shadow doesn't bother you either. I grabbed my keys and headed out, leaving her with her toast and her attitude. If she wants space, she's about to get a whole lot of it. That was the start of our Cold War. I stayed late at the office, crunching numbers for a client's app launch. She started leaving before I was up, her car gone by 6 a.m. Our phones went silent, texts reduced to bought milk or nothing at all. Dinners? She'd eat at the counter with her phone. I'd grab a burger at the diner. The bed was a no man's land, each of us hugging our edge, no accidental elbows, no warmth. We'd met 6 years ago at a buddy's barbecue in Durham. Emily was all sunshine then, brown hair catching the light, her laugh loud enough to turn heads. She teased me about overcooking my burger, and I shot back about her hogging the potato salad. We clicked fast, dates at dive bars, her dragging me to art galleries, me teaching her to change a tire. I proposed at Umstead Park, just us, a blanket, and some sandwiches. She said yes before I got the ring out. We bought a house, built a life. I started my consulting business. She climbed the ladder in marketing, always on her laptop, always networking. We were a team until we weren't. Now it was this, a house that felt like a chessboard, and Emily was playing for checkmate. But I wasn't about to let her win. A couple weeks into our silent standoff, I was hunting for batteries in the bathroom. My electric razor was dead, and I wasn't about to ask her where she'd stashed the spares. Under a pile of her mascara and lip gloss, I found a folded piece of paper. Curiosity got me. I opened it, and there it was, in her neat, loopy handwriting. Bucket list, end of year. Wake up without him. Find myself again. Live and quiet. No hearts, no doodles. Just 3 lines, like a to-do list for erasing me. I stared at it, my pulse steady but my mind racing. So I'm the obstacle to her zen? Nice. I didn't crumple it or storm out. I folded it back, tucked it under her makeup, and went to the living room. I sat on the couch, the TV off, watching her move around the kitchen. She was on her phone, laughing softly, her voice low but flirty. Oh, stop it. You're too much, she said, giggling, oblivious to me sitting 10 feet away. I leaned back, my jaw tight. Flirting with someone else while I'm right here? Bold. I didn't call her out. Not yet. I just watched, noting the way she twirled her hair, the way her voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper. H wants to live without me. Let's see how she likes it starting now. I spent the evening quiet, not sulking, just observing. I didn't offer to make coffee, didn't ask about her day. When she glanced at me, I met her eyes, my face neutral. She frowned, like she sensed something was off, but went back to her phone. I went to my office and started pulling documents, house deed, truck title, business contracts, all in my name from before we met. By midnight, I had a folder ready, divorce papers, financials, everything airtight. She wants out. I'll make it easy. The next morning, I started packing. Not dramatically, no slamming drawers. I took my toothbrush, razor, and deodorant out of the bathroom, leaving her stuff untouched. I grabbed my spare keys from the hook, slipping them into my pocket. Emily walked in, her coffee mug in hand, and froze. What are you doing? She asked, her voice sharp but unsteady. I kept moving, folding a shirt into my bag. Granting your wish, Em, I said, my tone calm but cold. You want to wake up without me? I'm making it happen. Her eyes widened, her mug trembling slightly. "Matt, stop it," she said, her voice rising with a hint of panic. "You're being ridiculous." I zipped the bag, meeting her gaze. "Ridiculous? Nah, I'm just following your list. You wrote it. I'm executing it." She stepped closer, her voice dropping. It wasn't like that. It was just a dumb note." I smirked, tossing the bag over my shoulder. "Dumb note, huh? Looked pretty intentional to me. Don't worry, I'll be out of your hair by tonight." Her face paled, her mouth opening, but no words came. I walked past her, leaving the folder on the dining table with a sticky note. Wish number 1, done. The door clicked shut behind me. That night, I stayed at a hotel, my phone buzzing with her texts. First one, "You're really doing this?" I typed back, my fingers quick. "Not breathing down your neck anymore. Check your list." She didn't reply, but the call started. First, it was petty. "Where's my throw blanket?" she asked one evening, her voice tight. "Hall closet," I said, flipping through a client's pitch deck. "Same place it's been for years." A pause. "You seen my silver hoop earring?" "Nope," I said, popping a chip. "Maybe it's with your sense of humor." She hung up. I grinned. "Keep swinging him." A few days later, she left a voice message, her voice shaky, almost desperate. "Matt, I think you misunderstood. It wasn't literal. Can we just talk? This can't be how it ends." I listened twice, my jaw tight. "Not literal? Funny how it's written like a contract." I sent her a scanned copy of the divorce papers. "Here's where it starts," I texted back. She didn't let up. One afternoon, she showed up at my office, leaning against my truck in the parking lot, arms crossed, her face a mix of defiance and nerves. "Matt, come on," she said, her voice softer, almost pleading. "We can fix this." I unlocked the truck, not breaking eye contact. "Fix what?" I said, my tone cool. "Your list didn't mention fixing. It mentioned leaving." Her mouth opened, then closed. "I didn't mean it like that," she said, her voice cracking. "I was just frustrated." I raised an eyebrow. "Frustrated enough to write me out of your life? That's some frustration, Em." She stepped closer, her eyes searching mine. "I miss you, Matt. Can we just go back?" I laughed, short and sharp. "Back to what? Your cold shoulder? Your kitchen tantrums? Or the part where I'm furniture?" I opened the truck door. "You wanted to find yourself. Start looking." I drove off, her standing there in the rear view. Checkmate. A week later, her sister, Rachel, showed up at the house. I was grabbing some files from my office when the doorbell rang. Rachel stood on the porch, holding a box, her face a mix of awkwardness and purpose. "Hey, Matt," she said, her voice hesitant. "I'm just here to pick up some of Emily's stuff." I nodded, stepping aside. "Help yourself. It's all in the guest room." She set the box down, lingering. "Look, I know it's not my place, but Emily's a mess. She went too far with that list. She's freaking out now." I leaned against the counter, my tone calm but firm. "She got what she ordered, Rachel. She wanted quiet. I'm giving her quiet." Rachel sighed, running a hand through her hair. "She's stubborn, you know that. But she didn't think you'd actually leave." I smirked. "Then she should have thought harder before writing me off. Actions have consequences." Rachel didn't argue. She grabbed the box, gave me a nod, and left. I locked the door behind her, my mind clear. Emily's problem now, not mine. The next escalation came at Jake and Lisa's dinner party. I almost didn't go, but Jake insisted, probably thinking he could play peacemaker. Bad call. I arrived early, chatting with Jake in the backyard while he fiddled with the grill. "Man, you doing okay?" he asked, flipping a burger, his voice low. "Lisa said Emily's been intense." I sipped my soda, shrugging. Intense is one word for it. "I'm just keeping my side of the street clean." He nodded, his face serious. "You're handling it better than most." Respect. Before I could respond, Emily arrived, strutting in a tight black dress, all smiles for everyone but me. She worked the room like a pro, laughing with Lisa, hugging another guest, Sarah, like they were long-lost sisters. I stayed by the grill, keeping it cool, but I felt her eyes on me, testing. At the table, passing mashed potatoes, she dropped her bomb. "Matt's been so busy lately," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, her voice sugary but sharp. "I barely see him. It's like I'm single already." The table went quiet. Jake coughed into his napkin. Lisa stared at her plate. Sarah raised an eyebrow. I set my fork down, a faint smile on my lips. Public play? Let's go. Funny you say that, I said, my voice light but razor sharp. Last I checked, you're the one bolting out the door at 5 a.m. What's the rush, Em? Got a new bucket list to draft? Her smile faltered, but she recovered, tossing her hair with a laugh. Just trying to keep myself sane, she said, her tone dripping with venom. You know, living with someone who's emotionally unavailable. I laughed, loud enough to make Sarah jump. Unavailable, I said, leaning back. That's rich, coming from the woman who wrote, "Wake up without him," like it's a New Year's resolution. Jake's eyes widened. Lisa stifled a gasp. Sarah leaned forward, her voice low. Wait, she wrote what? Emily's face went red. That was private, she hissed, her voice low but furious. Then don't leave it where I can find it, I said, my tone calm but cutting. Or better yet, don't write it. Emily tried to pivot, forcing a laugh. Okay, let's not air our laundry here, she said, her voice bright but strained. Pass the potatoes, please. I didn't let it go. Nah, you started it, I said, my voice steady. You want to play single? I'm happy to make it official. Sarah snorted, covering her mouth. Jake shot me a look, half amused, half nervous. Emily's smile vanished, and she pushed her chair back. I have a headache, she said, her voice tight, and stormed out. I stayed, finished my soda, and thanked Jake for the invite. On my way out, he pulled me aside. Dude, you're a savage, he said, grinning. She didn't see that coming. I clapped his shoulder. She should have. I'm done playing. A week before mediation, Emily made her last play. I was at the hotel, working on a client proposal, when she showed up, unannounced. She'd dressed up, low-cut top, her hair loose, the way I used to like. She leaned against the doorframe, her voice soft, almost sultry. Matt, can we talk? She said, stepping closer, her perfume hitting me. I didn't move, my laptop still open. Talk, I said, my tone flat. I'm listening. She sat on the edge of the bed, crossing her legs, her voice dropping. I know I messed up, she said, her eyes locked on mine. But I know you, Matt. Better than anyone. We can start over. I raised an eyebrow, closing my laptop. You know me? I said, my voice cool. Funny, your list didn't mention knowing me. Just getting rid of me. She flinched, but pressed on, leaning closer. I was stupid, okay? I miss us. Don't you? I laughed, short and sharp. Us? You mean the part where you ignore me for Claire's texts? Or the part where you scold me in public? Pass. Her face tightened, but she wasn't done. I talked to Jake, she said, her voice sharper now. Even he thinks you're overreacting. Everyone does. I leaned forward, my tone cold. Jake's on my side, Em. And everyone? You mean Claire and your sister? Real unbiased jury there. She stood, her voice rising. You're throwing away 6 years, Matt. For what? A piece of paper? I stood too, meeting her eyes. You threw it away first. I'm just cleaning up. She left, the door slamming behind her. Nice try. The mediation meeting was the final showdown. Emily's lawyer pushed for it, probably thinking they could guilt me. I showed up with my folder, house deed, truck title, business contracts, all predating her. Emily sat across from me, her lawyer beside her, both looking like they'd rehearsed a sob story. Matt, her lawyer started, his voice smooth. Are you sure you want to end things this way? It's abrupt. I leaned forward, my eyes on Emily. Abrupt? I said, my voice steady but hard. She wrote me out of her life on a post-it. I'm just following her lead. Emily shifted, her hands twisting. I told you it wasn't like that, she said, her voice soft, almost broken. I was just venting. Venting, I repeated, my tone flat. Venting is bitching to Claire over coffee. Writing a list to erase me? That's a plan, Em. Her lawyer cleared his throat. There's no need to escalate. I'm not escalating. I cut in, my voice sharp. I'm clarifying. House. Mine. Truck. Mine. Business. Mine. She wanted quiet. I'm giving her quiet. What's the problem? Emily's eyes filled with tears, but I wasn't buying it. Matt, please, she said, her voice trembling. I didn't mean to hurt you. I leaned back, crossing my arms. You didn't hurt me, Em. You annoyed me. Big difference. The mediator tried to steer us back, but it was done. Emily's lawyer didn't push. My documents were ironclad. She signed, her hand shaking. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. After the divorce, rumors started. Jake told me Emily was telling people I was controlling, cold, never appreciated her. I didn't correct it. Let her spin her story. I had my life back, my house, my truck, my mornings without her slamming dishes. 2 months later, I ran into her at a coffee shop downtown. She was at a corner table, alone, her phone untouched. She looked up, caught my eye, and hesitated. "Matt," she said, her voice quiet, I messed up. I didn't realize what I had." I stirred my coffee, my face neutral. "You didn't lose me, Em," I said, my tone cold as steel. "You crossed me out. I just signed the paper." Her eyes dropped, her voice a whisper. "I'm sorry. Can we try again?" I took a sip, letting the silence stretch. "You were my number one, Em. Now, you're not on any list." I walked out, the bell jingling behind me. My life was mine again, clean, simple, no noise. 6 months later, I'm in a new rhythm. My firm's growing, landed a big client last month, some fintech startup with deep pockets. I'm back to hiking on weekends, something Emily always mocked. The house is mine now, no lavender candles, just coffee brewing at 6 a.m. I sleep better, breathe easier. Jake and I grab wings every Friday, and Sam's been pushing me to try dating again. I'm not rushing. Rachel told me Emily moved to Charlotte, chasing a marketing job. Apparently, she's finding herself. I don't care enough to ask. My phone's quiet, my mornings are calm, and I'm good. She wanted her list. I gave it to her. Fair trade.